Okay, underrated wild card matchup right here.
It's the best matchup. It's
Underrated
the best
matchup
matchup.
right here. We get Jaden Daniels versus Baker Mayfield. Commanders travel to Tampa Bay to play the Bucs. The Bucs came off a little shaky last week. Barely squeaked out a win against the Saints, and then of course the Commanders' backups, or some of their backups, ended up beating Cowboys. So nonetheless, we get Jaden Daniels and Baker Mayfield. A lot to be excited about. This is the highest point total game on the slate, 50.5. So Vegas sees some points, and I kind of agree with them, even though the model doesn't. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Bucs -3, home favorites. I think that's an appropriate line here. If we look at the win percentage, the model has a 59% win percentage compared to 41% for the Commanders. So take that as you will. Just wanted to throw that out there. BJ, we get Jane Daniels, rookie quarterback, phenomenal year, traveling to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense started the year off really, really gross.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, they've gotten relevant again.
Yep.
15th overall EPA per play, 25th overall success rate. If you looked at those numbers at the beginning of the year, those were both in the late 20s, some even in the 30s. So just wanted to throw that out there. We've seen improvement. While they can be exploited, they're not a great defense. The numbers show that, but they're certainly a lot better than they were to the season. Washington defense is a big struggle as well. 20th overall EPA per play, 19th overall success rate. They really hemorrhage yards in the rushing game. I just want to throw that out there as well. But looking at the model here, 22.5 to 16. So I will say my model is saying a little bit lower scoring game. While I disagree with that, that's just what the analytics say. Beej, I know we both think this is going to be fireworks. We're both really excited about this game. In your opinion,
we do.
I want to get your take here. You got Jaden Daniels versus Baker Mayfield, and I think that we're both on the Bucs winning this game.
Yeah.
But we don't think it's going to be anything short of exciting. We don't think it's going to be anything, any sort of blowout by any means. We think it's going to come down to the last minute. Again, two great quarterbacks going head-to-head. Marshawn Lattimore gets one last crack at Mike Evans. So It's destiny. It's destiny.
This is so good.
So just your general takes on this game as well. But again, you picked the Bucs here. I'm also on the Bucs, but I'll elaborate a little bit more and also give a bull case for the Commanders. But your take on the Bucs here, man. Why do you think they win this game?
Yeah, I've been thinking this the past couple of weeks, but seriously, you should be worried if you play the Bake Show in the playoffs. I'm telling you, like the Bucs and Baker Mayfield led team, they've got some dudes on this team. McMillan has had to come onto the scene in the absence of Godwin, who got hurt. Mike Evans is Mike Evans. Bucky Irving is that dude. He is so I don't even know how to describe him or compare him to.
Electric.
But
he's absolutely electric.
So elusive and electric. And from what you said about the Commanders, hemorrhaging is I think the word you used. Yards on the ground. They're going to hemorrhage some more because even if Irving isn't in there, you got Rashad White can do the same thing. You got Sean Tucker can do the same thing. Baker sometimes takes off and then like taunts the defender who tackles him. It's amazing. I really think that the Bucs could put up over 30 points here. Like seriously.
Yeah.
I really think so. They've been an offensive masterclass with Liam Cohen calling plays, and they're going against a rookie quarterback again with not a lot of weapons. Now, Jaden Daniels has exceeded expectations extremely. He's had an amazing season.
Yeah,
but he's still a rookie quarterback going on the road in the playoffs in the NFL against an offense that is extremely electric. So that's why my biggest take. I know I've talked mostly about the Bucs there, but this team is sick.
To your point, man, the Bucs, no matter who they've played, have put up points. Baker Mayfield, kudos to him, phenomenal year. I will admit, shame on me. 3 years ago, I was down on Baker Mayfield. I thought he shouldn't be playing in the league, and look at him. He's been a top 5 quarterback, and you can't really argue against that. So we look at both of these offenses, and they've both been top 5 offenses, especially statistically speaking. When we look at Tampa Bay, they're 4th overall in EPA per play, 2nd overall in success rate. Pivot over to the Washington offense, they're 5th overall in EPA per play, 4th overall in offensive success rate. truly amazing what both of these teams have been doing. They have two really, really solid running backs and two elite quarterbacks, and it's going to be fireworks in my opinion. It may not reach the total, but I still think we're going to see some plays in this game where everybody's like, holy shit, I can't believe that happened. We look at the Tampa Bay offense. I mean, Mike Evans, he's a dude. Of course, Hall of Famer. Jalen McMillan has really come onto the scene. Cade Otton has been a safety blanket for Baker. So, I mean, and again, to your point, Bucky Irving is absolutely dynamic in the rushing game and the passing game. So it's going to be really hard to stop that offense. You pivot over to the Commanders' offense as well, and they have guys like that. Jaden Daniels, of course, Rookie of the Year, without a doubt. Then you have guys like Brian Robinson, who's really had honestly, what's called a career year for Brian Robinson. And in retrospect, I know he's been dealing with some injuries, but he should be good to go. Austin Eckler as well should be good to go. Terry McLaurin, he's had the best season in terms of receiving touchdowns in Commanders franchise history. So there's no play, like these teams, they're not short of playmakers. You know, they absolutely have playmakers, and they absolutely have the ability to score at will. So the key matchups here are going to be the defenses, which defenses can step up. And so I mentioned how Tampa Bay's defense has gotten a little bit better. And while Washington's defense, they've hemorrhaged a lot of yards, especially in the running ground, in the running game, they've also progressively gotten a little bit better. It's a bit more marginal, but I don't want to like speak about them like they haven't shown progress. Okay. You know, if we looked at some of their metrics, 20th overall EPA per play, 19th overall in success rate, that used to be in the high 20s. You know, the first 4 or 5 weeks of the year, those were very high. So they've gotten those numbers to come back down. But again, still, their defense is a concern of mine, especially going against Baker Mayfield. But to me, it's going to be about the trenches in this one. Which teams can establish a running game? Because we know both quarterbacks are going to have their way. And so advantage to Jane Daniels because he's got the legs to be able to create plays in the rushing game as well. So I think that's going to be a huge component of this game. I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, Jaden Daniels, he's going to run the football and blah, 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 you know, rushing quarterback. Because I think he's got one of the best arms in the league, man. One of the best deep ball throwers in the league. Mm-hmm. So don't twist my words up. Don't get a mistake. And he's a phenomenal passer. We've seen that in his connection with Terry McLaurin. But I think if you're making a case for the Commanders here, I think they do have a bit of an advantage because Jane Daniels can create some explosive plays in the run game. He's got breakaway speed, you know, and so that's really hard to defend for the Bucs here. And I think that gives them a little bit of an advantage in that degree. But I like the Bucs here, man. I think at home, I think Baker Mayfield's going to show out. This defense is going to have a slight step above compared to Commanders' defense. Give me the Bucs to take this one home. I think they're going to be a surprising team in the playoffs this year. Just throwing that out there.
Who would they play? Who does the winner of this game play? You have it pulled up? I would love to see that.
NFL playoff bracket. So, looking at this, the winner would move on to play the winner of the Rams and the Vikings. So, I mean, of course, I say that, but it's all about seeding. So,
right. Oh, right, right. That's right.
The Lions would get the lowest seed, and then whoever wins the Rams and the Vikings would get the higher seed, I guess. So
fire.
Yeah, it's gonna be some electric stuff. We saw what happened when Tampa Bay played the Lions last year. I mean, it could be fun.